2016's A Silent Voice does something I don't see too often in anime, and that's have a deaf character. I see all sorts of other disabilities like missing limbs and most commonly blindness. Granted, it's pretty easy to make a badass character if they're a blind master usually, but deafness is a disability I rarely if ever have seen in this medium. Just thinking about it, hearing is an important aspect to have in most scenarios regarding plot, so if the story doesn't revolve around that character, then they likely would only serve as a nuisance to everything going on around them. But A Silent Voice definitely focuses its attention in the right places. The plot follows around a teenage boy named Shoya Ishida. When we're introduced to him, we watch as he makes his way towards a bridge which he intends to jump from and commit suicide. However, after hearing some nearby fireworks, it causes him to refrain from going through with it as he reflects on his life and how he got to this point in the first place. And this leads to viewing Shoya's life when he was in elementary school. Shoya was a bully, and one day a new girl was entering his class named Shoko. She, by all means, is a completely normal person, except for the fact that she's deaf. And unfortunately for her, that small difference was enough to cause her to be a target of Shoya's bullying as well as his classmates who were also fine with it. And he bullied her in every which way you could imagine. But one day, Shoya takes his bullying a bit too far. The class who were going along with his shenanigans turned their backs on him. Shoko inevitably moves schools and Shoya becomes the target of all of the bullying from everyone. And so in modern day, Shoya is a reclusive individual, scared to look anyone in the eye, and so coming to his senses, instead of killing himself, he seeks to make amends with Shoko, who he bullied all of those years ago, in seek of redemption. This is the type of movie that is more than just a movie that tells a good story. Yes, the story is great, the characters are amazing, and there are so many great things about the movie itself. But the commentary within it and the deeper meaning behind the whole thing really is something else. It's the type of movie I feel I'd write a paper about in school, exploring the themes and messages within it, and would be incredibly happy to do because I enjoyed the movie. Topics of bullying, suicide, redemption, and so on are all things I feel I could really go on about if I chose to really dive headfirst into them. Like, take for example two of the characters, Shoya and Naoka. These two were both bullies in elementary school. They picked on Shoko and really made her life terrible. But in modern day, Shoya is a changed man, while Naoka remained the exact same person. At first, I didn't like that at all. I thought everyone changes, even in the slightest. No one remains the exact same person as they were when they were a small child. And while that was a negative thought I had through the majority of the movie regarding her, I came to realize that it's a good contrast in comparison to Shoya. Shoya is a changed person because he was forced to change. His bullying originally got him the attention that he wanted, but once that stopped working, it couldn't get him anywhere, and so he was outcast. He was made different just like Shoko was before him, just for different reasons. While Naoka wasn't. She remained a bully, but she was never outcast. She kept her friends, her life remained exactly as it was prior, so she had no reason to change. In modern day, she's a bully because nothing ever happened to tell her that it was wrong. It's very subtle things like that that make this movie stand out. Looking deeper into the characters and the film's themes, even the title itself can have multiple meanings if you choose to look at it that way. The silent voice could be referring to Shoko, or perhaps our character's subconscious guiding them. Either way, there's no one right way to interpret all of the many things this movie has. The movie is also a good reminder that kids are assholes. More than any other age, to be honest. I can't say I know the exact reason why, but they are the worst and you can't judge them for it because they're so inexperienced. They hardly know right from wrong. They don't know how physically and emotionally messing with someone will affect them later. Not saying if they did understand they wouldn't do it, children often don't care. Also not saying this is every kid. It just takes the one bullying victim, as well as all of the other factors that surround it, like the people who don't bully but still laugh along, or the people that see it happening but just let it continue. All of those people are in this film. They exist. They're all there, even in reality. The movie also does this thing that I really like, where a lot of the world is viewed from Shoya's perspective. He is the main character, but we do witness things through his eyes most of the time. His lack of ability to look people in the eyes is something that is shown by having everyone's face marked with an X over it. And anytime he starts to get comfortable talking to someone, or he feels like a connection is starting to form, that X will go away. There's also a lot of shots of people's legs and lower halves, once again adding to his inability to look people in the eyes. Things got a bit too relatable for me in this aspect. Yeah, definitely a bit too relatable. A silent voice tells a great story about redemption and friendship, while simultaneously tackling a lot of complex issues. One viewing I don't think could do justice for what this film really provides.